Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I haven't posted in a few days, and if you do hear certain noises, it's unavoidable. It's people upstairs. But let's just go straight into it. I'm definitely, Holy Spirit, I'm definitely just going to be asking you to lead this video and say all the things that needs to be said today. So just take over. My flesh is no longer here, Lord. And I'm just going to be okay. Amen. All right, so this video falls on, I feel like my face is so shiny because it probably is. Alright, so today, October 25th, marks 2 years where I decided to, basically decide to move to Georgia from Miami on just a drive with my mom, my parents, and I moved here. Alone. I was the first of my family to do so I'm here. I had big dreams, huge dreams of being an actress. Those dreams are not gone. They're not dead. I feel like it would happen on God's timing. But I had these dreams. I'm going to move to Georgia. I just graduated from school. I'm going to be this big actress. My name is going to be in these flashing lights. You know, Tyler Perry out here, you know, he giving jobs to black folks. And I'm going to make it. Listen, God had other plans for me. So I moved here with close to $3,000 to $4,000 in my savings account, and that ain't enough money when you're trying to move somewhere to a new city on your own, right? So who would have thought? I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give me a job within a month. Lord, yeah, right. So basically I moved here and I had these dreams, I had these ambitions, I had these goals. And it was as if God was saying, okay, you can have all these goals and ambitions and dreams, but right now you're about to go through a whole lot of stuff that you don't have no idea about. You have no idea about. Who would have thought that I would go absolutely broke to $0 before I found a job? Who would have thought I would have lost a life? Who would have thought I would have tried to commit suicide on multiple occasions? Who would have thought I would be in a very, very terrible relationship? Who would have thought that I'm going to go through details of everything? Please stick with me. This video is going to be lengthy. It is. I'm not going to lie. But it all goes back to this sweatshirt, and I'm so happy about how I got it. And alright, so I don't even know where to start. Alright, so I moved here. No money. Well, no job. I had money. I just didn't have no job. And I did not find a job until February 2017. So that's what, November, December, January. 3 months. It took 3 months. I had to go close my savings account. I had no money. I had no food. And I was trying to figure out, okay, maybe this was not the best decision for me to move here, because I don't know how I'm going to pay rent next month. And it's funny because God always takes care of people. But prior to that, I became extremely depressed. And it's not because I couldn't find a job. That definitely played a part. But I definitely lost a life. And I'm not going to get into detail of that right away. But that was like a turning point of everything. And it was when I say it's the turning point of everything, when I moved here, before I moved here in Miami, I was the person who was on fire for Jesus. Literally on fire for Jesus. I lived at my church because I love serving so much. I was in all these different small groups. I had my own small group. Literally, my life was school, work, and church, and sometimes play. Like, play was very minimal. And from that, so I get to this point where I'm like, God, what the heck did I just do? And why am I in this position? And are you upset with me? Oh, I really disappointed you. And I tried to block out a lot of emotions. I realized I suppressed a lot of things that happened in my past life that I did not deal with. And I found myself trying to cope a lot, never actually facing problems ahead or having conversations or anything. So I was very quiet. I was very quiet, and Jesus was here, and then he became here, and I was with someone that I put up here. I praised this man. I lived for this man. He was everything to me. And Jesus was just like, okay, I'll go to church. I'll talk about you, but you're not Lord to me right now. You're not. And you know, I would pray, I would go in my closet, but I feel like I'm just talking to the air. Literally, I was like, well, who am I even praying to? And who am I even talking to? Because I don't feel anything. I don't hear you audibly. I don't see no fruit coming from nothing. I know I did something stupid, but God, you said you are a forgiving God. So why things are not happening for me? I moved here to become an actress. You told me to start a channel. You told me to do all these things, and it's like, all right, forget it. I'm taking a break from Jesus. Yes, my body was present at church, and you know, he was showing me my community, but was I really taking heart to what community meant? Absolutely not. So he did little things. $0 in the bank. Let's fast forward to February, $0 in the bank. And I start my job February 1st. And I'm still trying to figure out, okay, it was not even a full-time job. It was a part-time job. And I'm like, all right, how am I going to pay this rent? Okay. Literally, my rent was about $835 base, and then you have gas and power and all that good stuff, so it came about $870, $880. Now at the time, this part-time position, I was not even pulling $800 a month. I gotta factor in gas, I gotta factor in groceries, I gotta factor in all these things. Okay, God, I don't know exactly what you're trying to do, what you're trying to say, any of that. So I became very depressed because one thing I never liked doing was depending on people. And I realized at the time he placed people in my life to help me. And I just felt so embarrassed. Nothing within that first 6 months was good. I met incredible people in my life that are currently in my life right now who continuously pour into me. But at the time, I was just like, all right, God, you clearly, something is not right. Something is not just, it's not ticking. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to live by rules, but I know what I'm supposed to do and what I'm not supposed to do. I knew I was not supposed to be with the person I was with. I knew I wasn't supposed to be doing anything with that person, if you get my drift. So I'm like, all right, this person is clearly not leading me to you, because we would always butt heads about Jesus. We never agreed, ever agreed. He became my God. And it was crazy because this person did not realize the effect that he had on my life, and I myself did not realize the effect that he was having on my life. Whatever he said went. I didn't have a backbone. I didn't. I wanted to please him. I wanted to make sure he was happy. So even though I did not want to be in bed, he wanted to be in bed. So guess what? Guess where we were? In bed. I did things that I did not want to do and did not feel right in my spirit. But I loved him so much. I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And at this point, I wasn't praying anymore. I wasn't going to, I just felt like, why am I praying to God to give me certain things or to show me certain ways when I'm clearly doing things that's against God? Like, it did not make sense to me, so why waste my time praying? I could not share these things with my community. They just knew I was in a relationship, but they didn't know the details of the relationship. I could not even look at myself in the mirror anymore and be like, okay, this isn't the case. Heck no. Heck no. And I just remember it was some type of, it was actually for a couple of months. Those who know me know when it comes to pain, I'm not going to tolerate pain. I will have Advil on deck all the time. And I went through a phase where I did not want to be alive anymore because of the decisions I've made, because of how I felt about myself, because of the person I was with. And I didn't know who God was. I didn't know who I was. I literally felt like I was walking through the motions of just get up, go to work. You have to work because you have bills to be paid. And although he's helping with food is not coverage of the shelter. You know, it's not my shelter. So it's just like, okay, now I'm short. Now I need to ask my friends, may I be able to live with them? I felt sick to my stomach. And I just sat here one day and I was just like, all right, God, I'm completely done with life. And I think it's time for you to call me home. And he was like, nah, that ain't happening. And I'm like, what you mean? Like, what you mean? So I took a bottle and I started drinking all the pills that I can drink out of that bottle. Y'all heard that? So I started drinking all the pills that I can out that bottle, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna overdose because I don't need to be here. Next thing you know, I fell asleep, and I'm talking, this was probably about like 12, 13 pills. And I still woke up the next day and I'm like, okay, God, what's the issue? You clearly see what I'm trying to do. Like, what's the problem? I don't want to be here. For literally a month or two straight, I was crying every day. Crying every single day. And I tried pills. I I tried knives. I cut myself here and there, and I have I have some scars. But you know, God is a healer. You know, He heals my skin because, you know, I do have a couple of scars, but nonetheless, and I'm like, why are you keeping me here? I don't want to be here. Why am I not dying? And I actually became jealous of people who successfully committed suicide. That's how bad it was for me. And so now I'm living in this super dark cloud, and I was like, all right, this is going to be my last attempt. Mind you, I'm like not doing anything for the church. I can't even remember a time where I was genuinely happy in 2017 at all. I may have laughed, I may have enjoyed the presence of my friends, but when I came back to this apartment, I was not happy. I did not have not 1 ounce of joy in 2017. I could have been crying from laughter, but every single day I came into this room, I was done. I was done. I didn't care for life. And I went to a conference, and I told myself, okay, this is going to be my last day here, Lord. I don't know what you're going to do to stop me, but this is it. I can't. And I had a knife, and I was ready, and I was like, all right. I wrote letters to my mom, to my friends here, and I was just, writing them like their goodbye letters, because that was going to be it. And my friends was just pressuring me to come to this worship night. And I went to the worship night. I went. I wasn't happy about it. I think I was pissed off the whole time we was driving there. And I went to the worship night, and you could literally feel the Holy Spirit presence in that room. And I try to let everything go. I try to let the man go, my feelings go, and just be present in the room. And I, for one, am never the person who do altar calls. I have never done an altar call in my life. Well, went up to when, they did altar calls in my life. I definitely wasn't. And so the person who's in charge of this conference, her name is Heather Lindsay, she's like, I feel a spirit of heaviness in this room. People who are battling suicide and all this other stuff, and depression, and because when I tell you I was in such a dark place, it was really bad. And so she was like, don't let, the enemy, rob you of this moment, or something like that. I don't know. But I kid you not, I was barefoot. I was barefoot, and it was not me who went up there. It literally was, the Holy Spirit was like, all right, Nikay, this your body, we going up there. I have never been up to an altar call in my life, ever. And I go up there, and I don't even hear what Heather is saying anymore. I think I was like one of the first people up there. And I just dropped to the floor, and I am bawling. I don't like crying. I sometimes feel like my tear ducts are not working. I dropped myself to the floor. I'm in center. Drop down to the floor, and I am crying. I don't think I cried. I cried before, but that was like, all right, God, you don't want me to die. You still want me here, but where are you? It was that type. It was really snot and everything. And all I know is that everyone who is part of my community now, Milan, Ashley, Belinda, they came rushing towards me. And a whole bunch of women that was in there, they was just praying. And it wasn't me individually, it was just a whole bunch of people, but my community specifically came to me, and it was just a whole bunch of other women that was just battling this, and it was just so much prayer going on, and it literally felt like something lifted off of me, because even though I felt great that night, I was still depressed. I still wasn't dealing with things that was holding me hostage. I was still bound to the man. I was still bound to things that happened to me in my past. I was still bound to decisions I've made that cost a life. I wasn't free from that. But I knew God wanted me. I didn't know how to accept that, but I knew He wanted me. So after a while, a couple of months, because that was in July, a couple of months go by, I'm feeling better. I know there's things that need to be done. I don't know how the steps to take it. I'm not serving in a church, but then I believe, shoot, I wish I knew what happened. It was December. This had to happen in December. I'm still going through it. I'm still battling. This had to happen in December. Yep, it had to happen in December. And it's crazy because what happens after. In December, it was a day where I was working at, the building closed, and I had to be moved to another building. And that building was farther from my house, and I had already worked out a deal with my previous manager where I would work at least 30 hours, and that was helping me a bit. Of course, still struggling because I couldn't do it. I couldn't pay all my bills the way I wanted to. I always needed help. But then when I got to this new location, this manager was like, nah, you sticking to 20 hours. And I'm like, okay, that's a lot. And I think at the time I was only making like $13 an hour. $13 an hour for 20 hours. Yeah, you make that math, and you living on your own trying to. Anyway, so I moved. So I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. It's been a year now that I've been here. God, what is going on? And I go to sleep, but it was so dark. Now, those who know me, I have blackout curtains. I'm not talking about light dark. It felt scary dark. And so I'm tossing and turning. It was a really, really, really bad dream. And I can't remember the dream at all. But I was in such a dark place in the dream. Something was wrong. And then I hear this voice. I talked about it previously in another video. Like, say this was my body in bed. I just felt like a shake to wake me up. And I woke up in shock. But as I was waking up, I hear a deep voice that says, mine. And after that, it was like an overwhelming of peace. Literally an overwhelming of peace. I've never felt that type of peace before. So then I'm like, what the heck just happened? Like, I was okay. I was literally okay. And then I prayed. Then I realized that was the first time I heard, well, that was the last time. First and I guess the last time I heard God audibly saying that I am His child. And that's when I knew my life has got to change. I can't keep living like this. I can't keep being in control of somebody else, even if they don't know that they're controlling me. Yeah. I can't be in control of somebody else. I can't keep being in bondage to things that was not my fault, or that's breaking me down the way it was breaking me down. So that same month, for a while, I knew I was supposed to be speaking to someone. Her name was Amanda. And I went up to her one day after a couple of weeks of just looking at her. No, I lied. I went up to her for a prayer, not because I knew her or anything, but she just happened to be the person that was like at church, and I was just praying. I was like, I ain't got no I don't feel like I have a real community. I don't think my community likes me because I'm just such a terrible person. And I was just praying all these things, and I started crying in front of her. Oh, after that whole pinky promise situation, I was crying at everything. I couldn't stop crying. Like in front of people, I couldn't stop crying because it was just so overwhelming. Now I ain't crying no more. So, but then I went up to her. She just gave me this whole prayer or whatever. Then a couple of weeks after that, I went up to her and I was like, look, I keep staring at you. I feel like I'm a weirdo, but I really feel like you're supposed to be in my life in some type of way. And I'm like, if someone came up to me like that, I would look at them like they're kind of crazy. But she was like, okay, all right, whatever. So I put my number in her phone, and I was like, all right, Amanda, she doing her own little thing, whatever. She ain't got time for me. She don't. And she actually did text me throughout the week, and she was like, hey, how are you, whatever. And I was actually amazed. So new year 2018, which is this year, my church is called the Gathering Oasis, and they have a downtown campus called the Go Downtown. And at the time, they used to do monthly services, and then they had small groups. So I decided I need to start going to small groups. Long time ago, I thought I was going to be serving in a church, and I never did. And we go through small groups, and it was such a lot of things are going on. At this time, me and the guy I was in a relationship with really started separating. But I still felt an attachment, and I didn't want to lose him. So what I did, I stopped going to small groups so I could have more time for him, and I denounced Jesus. I was so upset that he would be upset about the amount of time that I would spend at small group getting the word, and he would get upset at like the time I would leave and things like that. And I was like, you know what, fine, it's just gonna only be about you, since it's always about you anyways. I found myself always saying that it's about you, it's about you, it's not about me. I'm nobody. You know what? I don't care. I won't go to church no more. Jesus does not exist in my life. Some nerve. The nerve I had to denounce God. Like, I really was just like, forget Jesus. You are it for me. Stop going to small group and everything. Then like a couple of weeks after that, I stopped going to church. And God got me together real quick. Because it's like, how dare you, inthiscaise? You may have been struggling, but you still had a job. You still had somewhere to sleep. You still had friends that was willing to take care of you. People I sent to your life, in your life, to take care of you. You're good. I'm sending you community. I got you in a great church. How dare you not make me your Lord? Like, okay, God, I see you, because a lot of things started happening. And Amanda was working on this Confident Women's mentorship group. I stopped going to the small groups. I stopped going after I told them about the life that was given, well, taken, I should say, the life that was taken. and how it wrecked me, like completely wrecked me. And after I expressed that to them, I didn't feel the need to go to small group anymore because I felt like I uncovered something about me that I wasn't ready for. I felt like I was pressured to talk. I felt like I was pressured to talk, but it was meant to be. And Amanda reached out to me and she was like, sometimes people always talk about these moments and they're transparent and all these, they have these transparent moments, but no one ever checks on them afterwards. So I just wanted to check up on you. And I was like, no, I didn't cry. I promise you I didn't cry. But we went to breakfast and she was launching a Confident Woman mentorship program and I signed up. I signed up because I think I needed that. Well, I knew I needed that. And so while she was talking to me, she was saying, I love the fact that you came to me because she's been praying about it for a while, but God specifically told her that she was supposed to mentor me. Like I was supposed to be in her life. Talk about a divine connection. Now imagine if I ain't never go up to her. So I was like, what? For real? Because I know you hearing God for real. Because me, right now, I ain't hearing a thing from him. And she was telling me everything that God was telling her. And, I was concerned about this program and all this other stuff. I'm like, all right, I don't think this is for me. I made a mistake. You had to apply. And she was like, yeah, I'm letting you know that you are one of the women, and I don't want you to feel like just because I know a little bit of your story, that's why I chose you or anything like that. And I'm like, nah, I don't feel like. She was like, and yeah, and God told me to sponsor you. Well, I'm glad he did because I have the money for it. And I'm just like, yo, if that wasn't a sign that it was meant to be, I don't know what else that could be. And I'm just like, all right, God, you're serious. Like, this is your way of showing me that I need to get my life together. So we start this. So this program starts. Mind you, I'm still not going to small group. Still not serving in the church. Anything like that. This group wrecked my entire life. I ain't never cried so much. Nah, I lied because I cried all 2017, but it was a cry of freedom. Legit, just a cry of freedom. And I was just like, okay. I realized I had problems of I had daddy issues. I had confident issues. I thought I was the ugliest troll walking these streets. And dealing with sexual abuse, dealing with daddy issues, dealing with wanting to please humans, just wanting to please. And the fact of the matter was I was in a relationship with an older person and I was making him my God, and we were trying to figure out, I was trying to figure out the root of it all, because Amanda never knew how old the person was. But you could tell it's all messed up. And it was like, okay, well, why am I making this person my God? And we uncovered a lot of stuff. And I realized when the program ended, I grew in my confidence and I grew in disgust. When I say disgust of sin, like the enemy was really, really playing havoc in my life. He really thought he had me. Like, we were best friends. I ain't gonna lie. Me and the devil, we was homies. But God was like, nope, she belongs to me. And that's that. Like, you can't have her. And after the program, like, any type of sin was just disgusting to me. And I could not, like, my mind was just renewing, and I saw myself as a whole new person. Like, I could actually look in the mirror and be like, okay, that's Inthiscaise. So who is Inthiscaise? Inthiscaise is a child of God. Inthiscaise is someone who is loved. Inthiscaise is someone who is beautiful. Inthiscaise is someone who deserves better. Inthiscaise is a child, a sister, a good friend. Inthiscaise is not a victim. I needed to stop living in this victim mentality. Inthiscaise is not a doormat. Inthiscaise is someone who needs to walk confidently in Jesus. Because I knew better. I know the word. I know what Jesus meant to me. I was on fire. I went from being on fire for Jesus to denouncing him to being like, all right, God, take me back. You know I was playing. You know I had to go through something serious. I went through all these different phases in my life, and I was just like, okay, God, what to do now? The program is over. What are my steps? He was like, all right, well, step 1, you're going to start serving in church when you get back home. I had to go take a trip to Miami. And while you're in Miami, you need to get rid of stuff. You need to get rid of baggage, and you just need to leave it there. I was like, okay. Mind you, the guy and I knew that that relationship was over for a long time. I couldn't do it. I couldn't say, hey, it's over, because I could not. I thought I could not. And my friends, especially Valinda, she was like, God could be having something for you up here, just waiting to give it to you, but because you feel like you don't have the power or the authority to do it, he ain't gonna give it to you. There's just certain things God not gonna give to you because you're not ready for it, you know? And I was like, I was done. That was the first time, like, I took initiative and was like, okay, we're not together no more. We're not. Because I found things out about him that blew my mind. Like, marriage and everything. And I was just like, wow, what did I ever really mean to you? And I literally made you my God. Yeah. So that was one. Released that. Talked to my father. Even the sexual abuse as a child, who I never talked to anybody in my family about. It was just, deal with that too. And I had to learn, like, certain things did affect me that I didn't know because I suppressed them. It was a lot of release happening in such a short amount of time. I thought I was going crazy. But it was a good crazy, because it's like, God, you're helping. Like, this is what I was looking for. And you took forever. But my life completely started changing for the good. And, wow, this video is long. Where I am right now is freedom. It is complete freedom. I don't feel tied to a lot of things anymore. And I am still a work in progress. But that same time, you know how sometimes we lose that fire for God, which I lost, was completely burnt out. It was the matchstick dipped in water. That's how it was. But I'm lit. It's lit for Jesus right now. And I pray to God that that doesn't go out anymore the way it did. And I'm not saying I'm not going to deal with problems. No, I'm saying the heaviness that I was dealing with, I conquered it because of God. Because he still chose me. Because he continued to chase after me. Literally chase after me. He gave me the ability to hear his voice and for me to hear that I was his child. That was confirmation that he was never letting me go. Yes, I went through all of that bull crap, but I still made it. I am here. I am not happy. I am joyful. I'm loving on my community. I am more open. I am transparent now. Try to be as vulnerable as I can be, but that's not necessarily my characteristic. So it is still hard for me to like let go, but I'm not ashamed. I don't walk with guilt anymore. I don't walk with shame anymore. I walk around wanting to help people get set free because I know the joy that they can experience because I'm experiencing that joy now and I'm going to experience that joy forevermore. Yes, I went through stuff. Yes, dreams just died out. But I'm trying to obey God, live for him, love for him, and I do it with so much joy in my heart. I do. And God has just been so good to me. So good to me. Because I could have been dead in the ground right now. I could have, and you know how selfish that would be of me to do that? I literally could have been dead. Constantly swallowing pills, cutting myself, denouncing God. Who knows what my life could have been, but I am here now able to talk about this. Like, when I think about it, I'm like, wow, Jesus, you really love me. You actually really love me, and I can't take that away. And he's brought some incredible people in my life. And he works in very funny ways. Very, very funny ways. And I'm going to continue that in like another video as far as love goes. But yeah. And I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that I'm here, that I'm alive, that I'm able to record this video, that I'm able to recognize the dark place that I was in, to recognize God's hand on me and the people he sent in my life. Y'all, I'm actually serving at the Go Downtown weekly, and I do it with so much joy because I'm able to. Because I didn't want to serve. I didn't want to do anything for Jesus. I didn't love him because I didn't love myself. I didn't love myself because of the things I've done. I didn't love myself because I put others before me, before God. And just to see how I am right now, it's like, oh, glory. Glory to glory to glory to glory to glory to glory to God. Is that even how the song goes? I'm not sure. Y'all know I had to sing at least one time. But I think I'm going to end it off here, and I pray that if you made it to the end, God bless you. And yes, this means something to me. This means something to me. No longer bound. And I really want to, when I went to the PIA tour really quick, it's crazy because all of these things, all of this freedomness happened very, very recently. So when I went to the PIA tour, Chris Webb, oh my gosh, and it's like, he don't know me, I don't know him. And it's crazy because he was doing one of his bits, like his poetry thing. And he was like, all right, who wants this? And I was so hesitating to get in it because I didn't even know what this said. And I just was like, the Holy Spirit was like, no, raise your hand because he gonna give it to you. So I raised my hand and he threw it directly to me. And when I opened it, I was like, no longer bound. I was like, Jesus, that was you. I was like, this is you, Lord. And wow, you're incredible. You're super incredible. And it's like, God, thank you so much. Thank you. And yeah, I'm gonna end it here because he's just so amazing, and I really hoped you watched it through. Remember, I love you. Jesus loves you most. Thank you, God. And for everyone that hears this, do not give up. Do not give up on life. There is light. Jesus loves you most. Peace. Wow, this doesn't even work.